Ilia, I told you, pride comes before the fall. He was too cocky. He overlooked his opponent crazy, and he got humbled. And that's simple how it is. I think he's the better fighter than Gaethje, but he decided to let his pride get in before him. He thought he was beating me. He thought he was beating Terrence Crawford. He thought he could fight. I think he even said something about Canelo at one point, that he could maybe box him one day or something like that. I mean, this guy's head was out of this world. I mean, he was going crazy after everybody, and that's.
I know if you know something about Aleksandre Topuria's health, that he's going to the hospital, if you know something about him.
Yeah.
And if you have any plan for him on the future in the company when he recovers, of course.
What was the rest of that question?
After the health question, any plans for Ilia in the future after tonight?
Yeah, Ilia's in the hospital. He's busted up. You know, I'm not a doctor, but his eye looked like he probably has broken orbital. I don't know that. That's not a fact, but I'm just assuming. And my plans for him are to go home and rest and recover and take his time. And you know, tonight was a rough night for him. I just want to make sure he's healthy and good, and not even thinking about him fighting again. Just want him to go home and relax.
That was the greatest fight of all time. It literally was the greatest fight of all time. Ilia Topuria, in many people's eyes, is the most skilled of the new generation, and the new generation is the most skilled of all time. And Ilia was like the top of the mountain. And most people thought that he was going to be too much, and he was too much for a while. And he almost took Justin out in the second round. And then Justin rallied. And then Ilia, it looked like he got really damaged in either the first or the second round, and he was having real trouble seeing out of one of his eyes. And then Justin started landing bombs in the third round. Ilia had slowed down quite a bit. It looked like he had really tried to finish Justin in the second. And sometimes when you try to finish a guy, you just hit the gas way too much and you can't recover in between rounds. And Justin recovered. And Justin started battering Ilia in the third and fourth. And by the end of the fourth round, Ilia quit on.
Loses to Justin. Dying to know your thoughts.
Justin won. I said, what?
You didn't think he was going to win?
I couldn't believe, to be honest. But like Justin, he's a dog. Like, he has a good chin.
Do you feel like he quit?
Of course he did. He likes to say, I'm going there, break his jaw in the first round. But it didn't work. I would like to do same as Justin did, even worse. Guys like me, Islam Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov, these guys, for him is dangerous because he has no...
What's gonna happen to him?
Ilia, he reminds us of you.
No way, does he? He has the same tattoos, he says the same stuff, does the same movements. I knew that was gonna happen to him. Walking forward with the hands down on the opening bell, you're gonna get walloped. No. He's got banged up bad, which caused him to quit. His face will have to heal for sure. His face, I'd say, is smashed up. He's not a full, complete fighter. He's alright, I like him. Maybe.
You know, you gave him all the respect in terms of like his skill set in there. You know, said probably the second best guy you prepared for outside of Khabib. But now that you're through Ilia, was he as good as you thought he was? Was he better than you thought he was? Just can you talk about what you experienced in there with him?
I mean, he's very good. I mean, my liver still hurts right now. Those body shots were crazy. I mean, he was really, really fast. But, you know, when he didn't get the finish at the end of the second round, I think it really took his spirit. And, you know, again, I said it in the press conference leading up. I was like, he really backed himself into a corner saying he's going to be so dominant. And I said it. When we go to the second round, you're going to be like, what the When we go to the third round, you're going to be like, what the You know, that's what I did tonight.
Did you feel he was broken after he didn't get that finish?
I never felt he was broken because he was so dangerous at the whole time. But in the third round, when I started landing those jabs, when he started finding his back foot, I knew.
Justin Gaethje is the kind of fighter who never needs a second introduction when it comes to creating unforgettable moments inside the cage. Throughout his entire UFC career, he has built a reputation around chaos, relentless pressure, and the ability to completely change the course of a fight with a single strike. Every time Gaethje steps into the octagon, fans know they are about to witness violence at the highest level. His fighting style is built around constant aggression, brutal exchanges, and a willingness to walk through danger if it means landing something even more devastating in return. And at UFC 250, that exact style may have produced one of the most significant moments of his career. During his highly anticipated showdown with Ilia Topuria, Gaethje landed a shot that appeared to do far more than score points or win in exchange. This wasn't simply a punch that looked good on replay or a moment that generated social media clips. According to people close to Topuria's camp, the impact may have resulted in a legitimate injury, one serious enough to remain a major talking point long after the event ended. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about who won rounds or who looked better in certain moments. It became about the long-term consequences of what happened inside that cage. What makes this story even more fascinating is the fighter involved. Ilia Topuria has spent years building an image of absolute confidence and control. Ever since arriving in the UFC, he has carried himself like a champion long before he officially became one. His performances backed up every word. Whether it was his technical boxing, his knockout power, or his ability to stay composed under pressure, Topuria consistently looked like a fighter operating on a completely different level. He didn't just win fights, he dominated them. He made elite competition look ordinary. That is exactly why the recent reports surrounding his condition have shocked so many people throughout the MMA world. Fans have become so accustomed to seeing Topuria in complete control that even the suggestion of vulnerability feels unusual. The image of the undefeated superstar dealing with vision problems and physical damage has forced many people to look at him differently. For the first time in a long time, questions are beginning to replace certainty. The most significant development came when Aleksandre publicly addressed the situation. His comments immediately caught attention because he isn't just another analyst or media personality offering an opinion. He is someone connected to the camp, someone who understands what is happening behind closed doors. When a person that close to a fighter decides to speak publicly about an injury concern, it usually means the issue has become impossible to ignore. Suddenly, what many dismissed as speculation started sounding much more serious. From a sporting perspective, the situation creates enormous complications. The lightweight division is currently one of the most competitive and talent-filled divisions in all of mixed martial arts. Every contender is looking for an opportunity. Every challenger is waiting for a title shot. If Topuria's recovery takes longer than expected, the entire championship picture could change overnight. Potential opponents, UFC matchmakers, and fans around the world are now paying close attention to every update because the future of the division may depend on it. Gaethje's role in all of this cannot be overlooked either. Regardless of how people interpret the fight itself, the fact remains that he landed the strike that sparked this entire conversation. That alone gives him significant leverage moving forward. Whenever discussions begin about future title opportunities and championship implications, his name will naturally be part of the conversation. After all, few fighters can claim they pushed Topuria into one of the toughest situations of his career. Technically speaking, Gaethje was always a uniquely difficult matchup. His pressure is unlike almost anyone else in the sport. He doesn't attack in predictable patterns. He changes angles constantly, mixes his targets, and creates chaos where other fighters look for structure. One moment he's attacking the body, the next he's throwing devastating hooks upstairs. His willingness to absorb damage in order to deliver even greater punishment makes him one of the most dangerous competitors in MMA history. Against a fighter like Topuria, who relies heavily on timing, precision, and distance management, that kind of pressure creates unique problems. Even the smallest mistake can become costly. A fighter backing away at the wrong angle or reacting a fraction of a second too late can suddenly find themselves absorbing a shot they never saw coming. Sometimes the most damaging strikes aren't the huge haymakers that shake the arena. Sometimes they're the short, compact punches thrown from unexpected positions. Gaethje has mastered those moments throughout his career. At the same time, there is another side to this story that deserves recognition. Despite the injury concerns and the damage sustained during the fight, Topuria continued competing. He did not mentally break. He did not stop searching for answers. He stayed engaged in one of the toughest contests of his professional career. That resilience speaks volumes about his character as a fighter. Champions are often defined not by their victories, but by how they respond when things go wrong. Every great fighter eventually faces adversity. Every champion eventually encounters moments where the plan falls apart and survival becomes just as important as success. What Topuria showed that night was that he possesses the toughness necessary to compete through extreme adversity, even when conditions are far from ideal.